So we're back on the Ridgeway in Wiltshire, and today we're testing the outdoor performance of the Quickie Q700 mid-wheel drive power chair. And here she is, mid-wheel drive version. This one's been kindly loaned to us by Motus Medical, and they've done a custom job on the shrouds over the backrest and the base shroud there. So it's an extra, a little bit colourful than what a Q700 would be normally. So this one's fitted with a Sadeo seating system. It's got a powered centre mount footrest on it, and it's got Arnett controls. So what we'll do is take it over the same path as what we took the front wheel drive version over, and we'll test the difference, see which one's better in these conditions. So we're just turning onto the concrete track here that we also went over in the front wheel drive version, and on this part of it, it didn't test the front wheel drive, and it's not really testing the capability of the mid wheel drive either. I can't feel any loss of traction, and the chair feels very stable, and it's still just as responsive as what it was on the tar steel section before. And here we have that same change in level as the front wheel drive handled really well. Let's see how the mid wheel drive copes. And that went up it, probably smoother than what the front wheel drive did. There wasn't any issue there at all. And we're on to the cobbled section just after that now, and I've slowed down a little bit just to keep that traction, although I can feel we're just losing a little bit there. It's still going up by itself though. I'm not having to stop completely, and it is right on the limit though, and we're sliding a little bit over to the right, but it has made it over that section. But I think in terms of me being in the chair and it being okay for me, yeah, absolutely fine. For me to recommend it for a client to do, no, it's not going to happen. It's just the chances of being stuck are just too high. So we've turned around now, and we're going down that same section. And this chair probably feels a little bit more bumpy coming downhill than what the front wheel drive does. We're on that change in level now, and that was okay. There wasn't any forward pitching of the chair, which can be a problem going down curbs like that. So let's try it over these puddles. Now they're not just puddles, they've got quite a bit of mud around them. So that'll test whether the chair can maintain traction. And it handled that section okay. There wasn't too much loss of traction. And this piece here, the mud's a little bit stickier in this section, but that's okay. Again, just a little bit of traction loss. One thing to note, I can't feel the base grounding out at all. So it's high enough off the ground that the base isn't touching that mud, which can be a problem in mid-wheel drives. They tend to be lower to the ground. So on this downhill section here, plenty of traction. We're at full speed, which in this chair is 6 kilometers an hour or 4 miles an hour, and it handles that okay. You know, it's a lot bumpier. So this section here probably has the deepest and stickiest mud of our test today. Let's see how the mid-wheel drive handles it. So there's some loss of traction there. I can feel one side lost a bit, and the chair veered over to the other side, but it was okay. It actually felt better than the front wheel drive did. And coming down, we wouldn't expect to lose any traction here. Now we'll spin around and let's see if we can get the chair back up through that soft section. The tyres are loaded with mud. So that kind of means it's a completely slick tyre coming up, which is going to reduce our traction. Let's see how we get on. So I'm having to come forwards and backwards a little bit there just to get over that section. And you can see the wheels losing traction and bearing over slightly. And we're coming up now to that deeper muddy section. I'm just slowing down just to reduce the chances of it losing traction. This is the deeper section here. And with a bit of patience there, so we're slowing down, we got through that section really well. We're just coming up to the end of the test now. There's a very wet, muddy patch that we've come through the other way before. The chair's not grounding out, still keeping traction. And I'm slowing down slightly to keep that traction, and it's gone through there really well. We'll go through this puddle here just to wash a little bit of that mud off the tyres. So that's the end of our outdoor performance test of the Quickie Q700 mid-wheel drive. Now the chair coped probably slightly better than what the front-wheel drive version of the same chair did. But in both cases, the track at the moment, the ridgeway that we're on in Wiltshire, is probably just too wet and too muddy for this style of power chair to be used. Both the chairs that we tried today are indoor-outdoor chairs, or chairs that are supposed to be used in both environments. And this is probably on the extreme end of that use. So I'm surprised at how well they did, but on the same token, I probably wouldn't recommend them for a client to be using them in this exact situation. In summer, however, I think the track is going to be so much drier. There'll be a lot more traction, and I don't think there'll be any risk of getting stuck. So if that client was prepared to only be using it on this track in the summer, then absolutely fine. I wouldn't recommend that they be out here in the winter though.